Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes so sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade, sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Stack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Machegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes are sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Hello, good afternoon, my friends. Good afternoon, and it is welcome. Thanks so much for coming to hang around with me today. Today's Wednesday, September 24th of 2025. Free Turtleboy. We're going back to Dedham. We're going back to Dedham Superior Court for Aidan Kearney's hearing today. It is supposed to start at 2 p.m. There are many other cases on the calendar for 2 p.m., but I have a feeling that they're going to cover his first, because I have a feeling that the courtroom is pretty crowded and they're going to want to get all those people out of there. So we'll see what happens. But welcome. Just a gentle reminder, if you are logged into the court Zoom, in addition to listening to me, please make sure that I am muted, or please make sure that you are muted when you are in the court Zoom, because oftentimes this has happened well more than one time. Somebody has been listening to me. My voice is coming through the court Zoom feed, and people think it's me that's on there that's not muted. So please don't do that to me. It's embarrassing. And it's happened more than one time, and not only at Aidan's case. I think it happened during some Karen Reed cases too. Emily C., our good friend who played John DePietro at the Wilbur Show, who also has a YouTube channel and the Twitter, is used to be a kindergarten teacher before she is now raising her son. She made an amazing chart that I want you to see, because you're going to want to screenshot this for later. So let's take a look. Emily C. made a chart to keep all of the dates straight. She's a visual learner. Many of you also might be visual learners. And so I thought this might be really helpful, because you know how hard it is to keep track of all of the dates and times and things that are going on in this case. Let me see if I can make this any bigger, if it'll let me. Hang on. Well, it doesn't really go any bigger than that because of StreamYard's settings, but you can screenshot this for later. Let me take myself off the screen. Maybe that would help. And then you can enlarge it and you can look at it. No, well, that doesn't work either. StreamYard changed all of their settings, and I don't know where anything is anymore, and that annoys me because I like things to stay the way they are. Let me take myself. Okay, for those of you who are either driving or on scaffolding or in another place where you can't see your screen, I will. What do you mean, no mic? I have a mic. I didn't left swipe. I went off on purpose so that it could be larger for you. Okay. I'll read it to you. I'll read you the chart, okay? for those of you who may be driving or on scaffolding or, driving an 18-wheeler down the highway. This goes back to 2023. This is the all of the dates leading up to these charges for which Aidan is being persecuted and facing up to something like 100 and something years in prison on all of these, felonies. Okay. Well, thanks, Emily. I don't know. Oh, they come in a different format. I'll just keep this one up for now. But this is only 2023. I mean, we got to get to like 2024. There's so many other things that happened. Maybe this format will be better. Hang on one second. Well, then I got to download it. Let's just keep this up for now. I'll do another one later in case you guys can't see it or whatever. But here, check this out. Okay, so April 10th of 2023. This is the very top left of this chart. Notice that this is color-coded for you. Everything in light green has to do with the McCabe's and Alberts. Everything in blue, the dark blue, has to do with the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Everything in purple is the Massachusetts State Police. Everything in pink is Lindsay Gattani, and everything in the Tiffany blue is Kate Peter. That's my favorite color. That hurts me. But anyway, I'll allow it. On April 10th of 2023, that's when the feds visited the McAlberts. April 12th, 2023 is when the Haas Long to Die 227 Google search became public. April 18th of 2023, that is the first time that Aidan Kearney ever published an article on the Canton cover-up. April 20th of 2023, Jen complained to the DA to do something. The DA responds with a press release saying they are going to debunk the 227 Google search. On May 3rd, 2023, Turtleboy attended a Karen Reed hearing. Turtleboy confronted the random McAlberts, and Alan Jackson announced in the court that the FBI is investigating. So that was this is wild to go back and look at this chain of events. And Emily did the Lord's work and took Turtleboy did a video on the timeline, and she made it into a chart for people like us. Then on May 7th, that is when Marcy hired Jessica Hyde. On May 9th, Marcy wrote a letter to the feds asking them to stop the investigation. On May 18th, Marcy again asked the Fed to stop their investigation. May 24th, Turtleboy attended a Karen Reed hearing. Also, asked Jen McCabe and Lally questions outside the courthouse. Jen and Kerry emailed the DA saying something, we don't know what, because it's impounded. On May 29th, Kate Peter wrote the fake email about Colin Albert selling drugs at D&E Pizza. I mean, this all happened so quickly. They were right on it. May 30th, Jen McCabe tried and failed to get an order in Stoughton Court. The order for a restraining order against Aidan Kearney. She asked the judge, is there something that you can do to get him to stop blogging about me? June 9th, 2023, Turtleboy asked Jen McCabe questions at the lacrosse game. And then in June, for the whole month of June, it says Turtleboy makes several trips to Canton, goes to D&E Pizza, and interviews the DPW people, the Department of Public Works people, about who was plowing the street. July 1st is when Jen McCabe sent Turtleboy inappropriate picture of that guy that we looked at, John Como, and says she knows that Turtleboy is in Mashpee. In July of 2023, at some unknown date, Kate Peters started a support group for the McAlberts, the McCabes, Proctors, and started building her friendship with them. Don't worry, I've got the Zoom up. They didn't start it yet, but the host has joined, so I'm sure there's lots of people there. July 13th, Proctor sends email to Lally and the Massachusetts State Police complaining about Turtleboy. On July 16th, Marcy contacts the Attorney General's office and asks them to charge Turtleboy with witness intimidation. July 21st, Marcy contacts the Attorney General's office after finding out about the rolling rally the next day. So he knew the rolling rally was coming up on July 22nd. And then on July 22nd, Emily wrote, peaceful rolling rally, everyone has fun. On July 24th, Jen McCabe writes an email to the DA, likely complaining about the rolling rally. We don't know what it says yet because it's in Pound Town right now. On July 25th, Turtleboy leads his first protest outside a Karen Reed hearing at Norfolk Superior, runs into Sergeant Buchanan in the bathroom. August 1st, 2023. Chris Albert writes to the DA asking them to do something. August 3rd, the DOJ writes to Marcy saying the investigation will continue. August 8th, Turtleboy publishes a story about Lucky Loughran. It's going to be live streamed. We're waiting in the Zoom room right now. August 9th, Jen McCabe complains to the DA again, asks them for a meeting. August 25th, Michael Marcy did his hostage video and he released it to the press. August 30th, Turtleboy holds a protest outside D&E Pizza and at Marcy's fundraiser on August 30th. September 3rd, Proctor texts Marcy, Tully, Buchanan, Fanning, and asks, why don't we just arrest him? Aidan's love life is none of my business, and it's none of your business either. So all those messages are not making it through. September 13th, Kate Peter emails the Massachusetts State Police an edited video of Scanlon that she says is wiretapped. September 15th, protest outside Karen Reed hearing, Jen McCabe accused in court of murder. Turtleboy asks Buchanan questions outside the court. September 18th, Jen McCabe demands another meeting with the DA. September 20th, Jen McCabe contacts Steve Nelson and asks him something. It's impounded. September 25th, Turtleboy reports on Jen McCabe's car parked outside Michael Proctor's house. Remember that? I don't, because I wasn't covering the case then, but some of you might. September 26th, Turtleboy protests Chris Albert at the select board meeting, and Ken Mello was hired as the special prosecutor. September 28th, Chris Albert applies for a restraining order against Turtleboy and gets denied. Fanning and Buchanan interrogate Janelle Webb at work. September 29th, Michael Marcy uses a burner email to demand that the Stoughton court fire Michelle Littlefield after Jen McCabe's complaint. Kate Peter tweets that Turtleboy will be arrested on October 10th after messaging with Yuri Buchanan. On November 1st, Kate Peter sends Tully another email with links. On November 9th, Marcy emails Attorney General's office again with Krupp decision, asks them to do something. And then it says baby Clay. November 9th. Was that the day that Lindsay told Aidan that she was pregnant and it was a lie? On November 26th, Kate Peter emails Mello links. Mello opens the links and proves he is outsourcing his outsourcing his investigation to Kate Peter. This is like all around Thanksgiving too. Like, really? Was he not like having Thanksgiving with his family? He's out there, Marcy, doing wild. All of them. Zoom is up.
Welcome to the Zoom for Courtroom 25. We just ask that you remain on mute during the hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Margaret. We love Margaret. Margaret's our
correct that main session.
Thanks, Margaret. We love Margaret. Who doesn't love Margaret?
We are on Zoom. Nope. Do you have a couple things? No, like it's. Yeah.
Because it's on Zoom, I can't mute it and I can't stop it. So I'm going to have to recap at the end. So we're just going to watch it straight through once they start. If anybody comes into the chat and says, what are we doing? What is this?
Do you have his email?
Scrolling along the bottom of the screen
I just.
for the newcomers. Yes,
Oh,
Bettero
it's
is
only
in town.
1:58. I just wanted to give him-
Will the Glairer is
Do you have
also
his
in
email?
town.
Yeah, we could email him to make sure.
Judge Doolin coming to the bench. He loves Mr. Bettero.
For concessions, please be seated.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
We do not have a resolution.
Okay.
Chief Rose is gonna go.
Why don't we, start going down the list and see what we've got.
We are gonna start. So numbers 4, 5, and 15 are Commonwealth versus Aidan Kearney, 23 CR 313, 24 CR 43, 25 CR 88. The parties are in the building and
Do they need a minute, Tim? Yeah, give them a minute. Give them some time to talk.
Next, for the court, number 6, Commonwealth versus Stephen Durant, 24 CR 68. Mr. Durant is present. I have not seen his attorney, Anthony Ellison, yet. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Amanda Mullaney. The matter was scheduled for a hearing on a motion to suppress. If the parties could please identify themselves for the record.
Amanda Mullaney for the Commonwealth, Your Honor. Good afternoon again.
Mr. Durant, have you seen Mr. Ellison?
Oh, no, I haven't seen him today.
Want to give him a call and tell him that we all say hello?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll call him right now.
All right, you go do that.
Doolin loves
All
an
right.
audience. He loves
Second
an
for
audience.
Durant. Next, for the court, number 7, Commonwealth versus Joe Su, 24 CR 156. Mr. Su, I don't believe is present, neither is his attorney Bradford Stanton, because, and she is here. Oh, my apologies. And so she is present. We are joined by a Mandarin interpreter, but we are waiting on attorney Stanton.
Okay. Have you talked to Mr. Stanton?
I haven't. I just sent him a message.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Okay, 8 and 9 we already handled. Next before the court, number 10, Commonwealth versus Miguel Fibo, 25 CR 34. Mr. Fibo is in custody, represented by attorney Billy Keefe, who I have not seen. ADA Stephen Coleman is present. The matter is scheduled
Hi,
for
Mr.
a
Coleman.
change of plea. We're also waiting on a Spanish interpreter on that, I think.
All right. When he gets here, we'll do it.
I'm not sure it's gonna happen today, I just don't know, I haven't talked to him. But if it is,
We'll see.
we'll see. Thank you, Your Honor.
And I think actually we do have one we can do. Number 12, Commonwealth versus Tyrell Williams, 25 CR 75. Mr. Williams
In custody.
is in custody, I believe?
I don't think he's.
Oh, good. But not,
He's not here?
okay, not present, represented by Attorney Robert Nelson. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Christopher Cook. The matter is on for pretrial hearing. If the parties could please identify themselves for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Chris Cook for the Commonwealth.
Hi, Mr. Cook.
Robert Nelson for Mr. Williams.
Hi, Mr. Nelson. Tell me what's going on with this.
So, I believe I have all the discovery now, so I was just gonna ask for a motion filing date.
Why don't you come over and talk?
If you're just tuning in, we are waiting for a second call. They said that Aidan's attorneys, Bettero and Bradle, are outside, I guess, in the hallway talking to Cosgrove. And so they're going to call the other cases in the courtroom first, which we always like to watch because we like to see how the judge behaves with other defendants. And it's always very interesting. Thank you, Elf, for gifting a membership. Look who else is on the Zoom. We've got Young Media. I don't know who that is. Grant Smith Ellis. Somebody named Wayne. Justice Serve TV. Baker is here. Mike Crawford of Young Jerks. That's it. No mainstream media. That's interesting because Mass Live did do an article that I was going to play for you guys. I mean, read it to you guys after this because mainstream media isn't covering this, which is shocking because they should be very concerned about journalist rights because Massachusetts is one of only a handful of states that does not recognize any sort of journalistic privilege. And so you would think maybe that the mainstream media would cover it, but no, they just don't. Shout out to Alicia's mom, Tammy, who's watching from Colorado. Miss you, Mom. Go Buffs. Go Buffs. My daughter, is a buff, and so was I many decades ago. And last night, she was at Red Rocks at a concert for someone named Renee Rapp, who I don't even know who that is. But I was so proud that my daughter was at Red Rocks decades after I was at Red Rocks, probably in the exact same seat, watching such people as the Grateful Dead, which is so awesome. I love it. It's the circle of life. Go Buffs. Thanks, Alicia, for your super chat. Dina says, free Turtleboy, supporting from Sarasota, Florida. Thank you so much.
So do we want to pick, like a motion filing date, and then if you talk to your client, we can bring it forward?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Discussed, I believe, the 27th of October, Monday.
Just saying, you're gonna be in the second session, so, that works. So as to Mr. Williams, the matter is continued to October 27th at 2 p.m. for filing and motion. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Oh, what's it, Johnson and Johnson?
Okay, are they all here?
I don't know, what else do we have?
Are they ready on?
Now, let's see if we can move some of this other stuff.
Okay. Do we have,
Okay.
I just,
Anybody else have anything that they're ready on before we launch into something?
Launch into
Has
the
anybody
Turtle Boy
seen Bill
saga.
Keith? All right, okay,
okay, and we're,
away we go.
Numbers 4, 5, and 15, Commonwealth versus Aidan Kearney, 23 CR 313, 24 CR 43, and 25 CR 88. If the parties could
Bradle.
please come forward and identify yourselves for the
Mr.
record.
Federal, Mr. Cosgrove, Mr. Kearney.
Here we go.
All right, we have Robert Cosgrove representing the prosecution, at least for the moment. We have Jim Bradle, who's here, Mr. Federal from New York, and we have Mr. Kearney. Before us on the, one of the cases, I know you moved to withdraw, Mr. Cosgrove. Which one is that?
Tell us about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the very last thing. Your
Yeah,
Honor
you moved
said.
to withdraw on 240043?
Yes,
No objection, Your Honor. All right. So on 240043, based on representations, Mr. Cosgrove is allowed to withdraw. Now, Mr. Cosgrove, have you had any communication with the Norfolk DA's office on who's going to take that case over?
I have, Your Honor. My present understanding is that no decisions have been made.
There was another motion to withdraw I saw from another name I was unfamiliar with. Was that Mr. Mellows?
We all are unfamiliar with it.
Novak, Your Honor. Mr. Novak, who I haven't seen during any time that I've been involved in the case.
Mr. Novak, Your Honor, is a gentleman who I believe filled in, not sure I have this right, but this is my recollection, filled in for Mr. Mello on one day when he was ill, I think before the grand jury, and entered an appearance for that reason. He's had no further involvement with the case, and I think it was just a matter of cleaning up the docket.
Helping out Mr. Mello. So I obviously, pursuant to the motion to disqualify Mr. Mello that I allowed, I'll let Mr. Novak out of the case. So, Mr. Cosgrove, I trust that you'll have communication with the Norfolk DA's office about a new prosecutor coming in on 240043. That's the domestic allegation.
They are aware of it, Your Honor. I think as I'm about to leave the case, it ceases to be my problem, if I can be so blunt. But
You can be so blunt.
someone, I'm sure, will be in touch with the court.
All right, I'd call upon the Norfolk DA's office to see if they can have somebody appointed on that case.
Cool.
Yes,
And do it forthwith. I'll make an order to that effect.
All right. I understand, Your Honor. I will just say that since, as you are probably aware, the reason for my withdrawal is that the alleged victim in the case is attempting to implead me in a civil suit between her and Mr. Kearney in the Worcester Superior Court. The situation does not seem to me personally, and I'm not speaking for the office, conducive to enticing the special prosecutor to assume my position. So we'll have to see what develops.
Okay. I'll make an order, Margaret, just as to 240043, the order of the court that the district attorney appoint a special prosecutor within 30 days.
Judge, if I may, we'd just like to be heard on that very point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Attorney Betterow is going to address that, Judge, just in terms of the potential conflict extending all the way to the DA.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Betterow.
Judge, the problem with this situation is that the alleged victim, who is dragging Mr. Cosgrove into the case, which has led to his removal, as well as Detective Lieutenant Tully, as part of these series of legal maneuvers, sent a demand letter to Michael Morrissey in his capacity as district attorney, indicating, presenting claims against the DA's office arising out of the same incidents which have left Mr. Cosgrove to leave. And it's a classic demand letter. If something's not done within 6 months, she intends to take legal action.
And this is to the Norfolk DA.
This is to Michael Morrissey in his capacity as district attorney, and we believe that the Norfolk DA's office now has an irreconcilable conflict, because it would lead to questions about how are they in a position as a future potential litigant to start appointing people. So
why don't you do this? Why don't you write up something and put something in writing to show your opposition? Obviously, I'm not going to. I think it makes sense for the district attorney's office to review whatever it is that you file and then make a decision on that. Okay.
The last concern with that is at the moment, because Your Honor disqualified Mr. Mello recently in a decision. Mr. Cosgrove has been relieved, and this Mr. Novak has been relieved. This case, the 24 indictment, at this point in time is essentially stateless. There is literally, and I want to overuse the word literally, there is literally no prosecutor on that case for an indictment that is approaching a year and a half, almost 2 years old. There are still outstanding discovery issues, and obviously Mr. Cosgrove is no longer in position to deal with those. Yeah. But we just want to get this remedied as quickly as possible.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. So I think I'm pretty comfortable with my ruling that within 30 days, someone has to appear from the Commonwealth.
Okay.
Whether that's the Attorney General's office or another prosecutor's office or somebody, but somebody has to come.
Thank you.
I agree with that. All right. Now we're going to the other two cases, which are 23-00313 and 25-0088. I think we're on today for discovery motions on that. I know that you have filed a motion to dismiss. I'm sure Mr. Cosgrove hasn't had a chance to respond to that because it was filed within the last week.
We've had some discussion about that, Your Honor. And if the court is agreeable, we have some suggested dates. I believe that we have agreed on a filing date of a non-court date, non-appearance date, but a filing date of October 27th for the Commonwealth to file a response to the motion. And then I believe that both defense counsel and I would be available, if it suits the court, on either November 12th or November 14th to hear argument on the motion.
Margaret, what is the court schedule like for those days? With Walsh? So it's going to have to go through the regular course. Give me a date later in the month.
I think December.
Yeah, because the Walsh trial is going to start in
October 20th.
October 20th, and that will take care of this session for a while.
Is October 20th work?
No, we're talking about Mr. Cosgrove having the hearing later in the month of November. The filing date's fine.
Right, so
Later in November, Your Honor?
Yeah.
They didn't think they were going to be available till December.
yes, but I mean, the
Oh, is it-
following week is Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, okay, then go into the first week of December.
Any day but the 4th.
Well, that suits me because I can't come on the 4th. So
The 5th, okay?
Friday the 5th?
Yeah, does that make sense? All right.
Is it
Okay, so Friday, December 5th.
non-evidentiary motion to dismiss?
Correct.
Yes, I think it's non-evidentiary. At that point, there's a prayer in the motion for an evidentiary hearing, but I assume the judge would make a decision as to whether or not to grant that based on the argument on the 5th.
Living on a prayer.
Okay, what else do we have? Do we have any?
There are two other matters, Your Honor, that I'd like to raise with the court. One is a motion for a protective order for certain investigative materials. I have just...
Is this the Brady list?
Yes, it relates to the Brady list.
Yeah.
I have just served the actual motion. The attachment was previously provided to the defense, but I believe Mr. Bradel wants to, is okay with taking it up today and wants to be heard briefly on it.
Yeah.
And I'll rely on my written submission.
Okay. So what we have before us is a motion for protective order relevant to certain internal investigatory materials, and that has been presented today by Mr. Cosgrove. Mr. Bradel, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court will certainly remember, we've maintained our objection about public materials, about public officials, that, you know, the risk of embarrassment, et cetera, is not a grounds to, you know, hide something from the public. And, you know, a lot of this stuff, the trend has been in the last few years to make police misconduct issues publicly accessible. So, you know, Mr. Kearney shouldn't have less rights than everybody else out there. There's no First Amendment exception for Aidan Kearney that he can't have things that the public can have. So this is one of those issues where, you know, we maintain our objection that there's no reason to impound these items. And the stated reason that, oh, Mr. Kearney might talk about these issues is not a ground, and it fits under the rubric of public officials' misconduct should be out in the public sunshine, and that's that. So it's not a grounds to say, well, Mr. Kearney is going to talk about it. And so it's a simple analysis that the public interest should prevail here, and Mr. Kearney should be included in that and get the benefit of that.
Okay.
So there's no grounds. Thank you.
Gotcha. Okay, what else we got? Anything, Mr. Cosgrove?
I just have one more thing, Your Honor.
Public sunshine.
Judge Rayburn, quite a while back, I want to call the court's attention to this, even though I'm not going to be in the position of litigating it. Judge Rayburn, quite a while back, gave Ms. Gattani leave to file pro se motions with the court. About 3 days or thereabouts after I became aware of my need to withdraw, there was a release of a link to Ms. Gattani's cell phone extraction on the internet, which raised a number of issues, having litigated what should happen with this cell phone extraction rather extensively over the course of this case, raised a number of issues that I would otherwise have proceeded with the motion before the court, specifically as to whether the release by someone, and it was not directly released by Mr. Kearney, violated Judge Krupp's order.
If it wasn't him, how could he violate the order?
A pro se motion, which sets forth a factual basis for that and asks for certain remedies. I'm not sure I'm on the same page with her as to what the appropriate remedies would be, or whether it also violates Your Honor's order. But I do think it raises very substantial questions as to whether there was a violation of Judge Krupp's order. And I would urge the court to take a look at it and consider whether it's worth a hearing date and how the court should proceed. And that's all I'll say about it.
Okay. Have you seen it, Mr. Bradel?
Judge, have I seen,
What was filed by Ms. Catani?
I have.
All right.
First point, Judge, if I may, is that I don't think Commonwealth Counsel is in any position to argue anything on the
And I don't think he
case
is.
right now.
I think he's, would agree with that. So what I'm gonna suggest is that should probably be put over to a date where there's a new prosecutor here. I agree with you on that. I think Mr. Cosgrove has correctly moved to withdraw on that case based upon the circumstances. And I think that a new prosecutor comes in, we'll take a look at it, and then make a determination.
Sure.
Okay?
And I don't want to take a lot of Your Honor's time on this, but just so Your Honor is aware of our position, is that Ms. Gattani keeps filing these motions with the court that are creating a serious risk of denying Mr. Kearney of a fair trial, prejudicing him, prejudicing me, prejudicing Mr. Betterow to the court, to the public, and these things keep getting filed by a third-party litigant. There's no privilege in Massachusetts on the part of a third-party litigant to be asking for things like she's asking for in this motion, suppression, a fine, other relief. You know, this is outrageous, and I asked it. We're going to ask in writing when there's a new prosecutor.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Why don't you
Because we just had it with this. It's going to prejudice our rights to a fair trial on behalf of Mr. Kearney. She can't keep taking pot shots with the court. Your Honor has to read this stuff. You know, it should be stricken. It shouldn't even be accepted, is our position.
All right, so I will then see you back, or someone will see you back on whatever date that is, that we chose for the hearing.
And one final thing, Your Honor, I'll put on the record that I told Mr. Bradel and Mr. Betterow that with respect to the most recent indictment against Mr. Kearney that involves him standing outside the pizza shop,
25
making faces, that I would provide him with the discovery by the next court date.
Okay.
And that's agreed to, Judge. That's perfectly fine. I did file 2 arraignment motions that I would just ask the Commonwealth to look at in terms of what we're looking for in terms of the response.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your matter is continued to December 5th at 2 p.m. Thank you.
All right, have a nice day.
Thank you.
The judge's head in his hands is all of us.
You don't have those all the
What are
So in the 25 case, it's a motion for
Hot mic, hang on.
exculpatory discovery. That's the Graham McFarland stuff. And then there's an arraignment motion to discovery. It's really just asked for like a specific thing.
Okay, we probably have them.
Yeah, I saw it in the docket.
Okay, great.
But I'll make sure everybody sees.
One thing I did, so your motion to dismiss, we have the memorandum, we have the affidavit.
Yep.
You do, like.
Just listening to the hot mic.
motion.
There's no actual motion that seems to be incorporated into the so-called affidavit.
I think it was like an incorporated.
Okay.
Thank you. Good to see you. All right, thank you, everybody.
It's more streamlined that way.
Yes, I like it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
All right.
Are we ready on Miss Sue?
And that's it. Well, whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing happened today, except Cosgrove has formally withdrawn as counsel for the Lindsay Gattani matter. And there was no opposition, as expected, from Aidan's defense team. And so the judge said, okay, you're free to go, but who are we going to appoint? And Cosgrove said, well, if I'm out of here, it's really not my problem. And then the judge ordered that somebody appear for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office within 30 days, whether they have to go outside the county, whether they have to give it to the Attorney General's office, or somebody's got to appear, or perhaps the charges are going to be dropped. So the charges have not been dropped today, as Lindsay Gattani told us they would be, because we went over all of her spiraling out episode yesterday, and her videos and her tweets. And yeah, it's an absolute waste of time, but welcome to being a lawyer, because most conferences are an absolute waste of time. So you're getting a little taste of what it's like to actually be a lawyer who has to do this for a living and go there every day, only to accomplish nothing. So as a quick wrap up, and then I'll take your questions, but let me just tie this up in a bow for you. Doolin was funny when he got on the bench. He said, well, Mr. Cosgrove is here for the Commonwealth, at least for the moment. And then he said, I understand, Mr. Cosgrove, you've made a motion to withdraw as counsel for the Commonwealth with regard to the Catani matters, and there's no objection from the defense, so your permission is granted. He also said, I have no idea who this guy Novak is, and we were confused too. We were like, who's the special prosecutor Novak? We have no idea who that is either, and Cosgrove told us that I think he filled in for Mello one day at the grand jury, and so he, too, wants to withdraw, and I guess he should, since Mello has been disqualified on one of the cases. And then because Betterow got up and said that because Lindsay Gattani has sent a demand letter to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office telling them that she's going to sue them, we think that the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office is going to be conflicted out of all of these cases, and nothing was decided on that today, but it's a good argument. And the judge seemed to take it into consideration. He seemed to agree. He said, Betterow said, right now, this case is actually stateless, or somebody said that. And it was funny because I wrote down stateless. So within 30 days, Doolin has ordered that the attorney general or another county prosecutor or somebody appear on behalf of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office to prosecute Aidan Kearney. Cosgrove is going to get until October 27th to respond to the mega motion. It took us, clicking on all hyperlinks, over 15 hours of coverage to go through this entire mega motion. If you haven't seen it, it's wild and it's really good and you should watch it. 3 episodes. Remember, if she takes a plea, it's going to go away. It'll be over. If not, it's going to be a whole episode. Not only is it a whole episode, but now the spin-offs resulting from the Karen Read trials and persecution are just, can we even keep count anymore at this point of the spin-offs? So many of you said yesterday when we did the stream last night, and I really thought I was going to be on for maybe an hour and didn't know what we were going to talk about, and we did like 2.5 hours. So many of you said I had no idea who all these side players were, who are Karen Read adjacent, involved in the Turtleboy matter, and I had no idea who these people were, but now I just can't turn away because you just can't make this up. You just can't. So Cosgrove is going to get until October 27th to respond to the mega motion because he is still, for now, the prosecutor in those cases. And there will be argument on that motion to dismiss on December 5th at what time? I didn't write it down. Oh, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Apparently, Cosgrove also filed a motion for a protective order today, which I have not seen yet, but I am imagining that it has to do with internal affairs investigations against Proctor and others that Cosgrove wants them to be sealed under a protective order. And Bradel made his usual argument of, Your Honor, the embarrassment of a public official or potential embarrassment of a public official is not enough to hide that from the public. In fact, that's the reason why we have freedom of information laws and such things as that. And he said that public sunshine is what this case needs. And I agree. Although the mainstream media doesn't seem to be very interested in it, do they? Mr. Cosgrove, or somebody said, and I had a question about this too, so I'm glad it was brought out, that Judge Rayburn, Katie Rayburn, is another judge. I forget where she sits, but she apparently has given Lindsay Gattani permission to file these pro se motions. And the motion that she filed recently, when we went over it, I was like, well, first of all, why does she have standing to make these motions? That answers my question. And so she's allowed to, and she's asking for all kinds of crazy things like $20,000 and for Aidan to be held in criminal contempt and for all kinds of things. And then Cosgrove said, yeah, and by the way, somebody, not Aidan Kearney, but somebody, maybe on his behalf, released a link with all 15 years of Lindsay Gattani's cell phone records. We know who that was. It's Haley Walbrecht, or not Haley Walbrecht, on Twitter, who is now known to be Jason Broyles. And the argument, I guess, by Lindsay Gattani, because I'm getting confused at this point, is that who's streaming Betterow being interviewed? Who's got it up? Tom? Hang on. But I'm going to lose my train of thought. So if we can just hold that, I can rewind it in a second. Let me finish my train of thought, if you don't mind. Otherwise, I'm going to get sidetracked. Because now I just did get sidetracked. Jason Broyles released under some website like lindsaysphone.com. I really don't know what it is because I would never click on it. Her entire 15-year phone extraction. And Bradel said, or Betterow said, well, Cosgrove doesn't have even standing to argue this right now because he's been removed as the special prosecutor. He just moved to withdraw as the special prosecutor for Lindsay Gattani. And the judge seemed to agree with that. So he's got no standing to argue that right now. And then Bradel said, Your Honor, Lindsay Gattani being allowed to file all of these pro se motions are really jeopardizing our right to a fair trial. It's insane. She's taking pot shots at the court. You can't allow this thing to continue. And so we'll see what happens with that. If he makes any order that is going to now preclude her from making these crazy motions. Cosgrove did tell Bradel and Betterow that he intends to provide them with all of and he seemed to think it was a joke too, the window intimidation where they were making faces case that Chris Albert and Colin Albert have against Aidan Kearney. He said, I will provide the defense with all discovery on that case by the next date. And the next date is December 5th at 2 p.m. All right. So where can I find Bradel being interviewed on the tube of you? Tom, CPU? I can't scroll back. This chat's moving like crazy, so I can't go back. If somebody can just tell me like right now, I'll just look it up. Tom, all right, thank you. All right, I'm going to rewind it so you're not going to miss the thing, so don't you worry. Tom is very cool with me restreaming his stuff, so I wouldn't do it unless I had permission. But what I would appreciate you do is go over there to Seeking Justice with Tommy and Boston Mike and give them a like on their video because they're out there doing the Lord's work in the freaking rain, getting the walkout from the courthouse, doing all of the things. Let me know you can hear it. Otherwise, I'll boost the audio. So this is Aidan just now or a few moments ago coming out the courthouse.
Well, that was a lot of nothing, but were you expecting more than nothing?
I think we anticipated that the motion to dismiss would be argued at a different date because he would need more time. Of course. It was a mega motion, so there's a lot.
And they haven't responded yet.
They've not responded yet, so they have to respond, by 30 days, and then we're going to argue it on December 5th, it sounds like. So, but I think the big news out of today was that the special, what we knew was coming, that the Robert Cosgrove has tapped out of the Gattani indictments. So
yeah, and you guys didn't object to that. So let me ask you this: let's talk reality here. In 30 days, if they haven't appointed,
that sounds like, excuse me, because I can't remember his name right now. Linda Bodden, Kenny's partner on their YouTube channel. That sounds like his voice. Bradel is wearing a navy blue suit, blue shirt, and a red tie. Tim Bradel in a more of a French blue suit, blue shirt, and orange tie. These guys are looking sharp today. Thanks, Tom CPU, sister. I love you with all of my heart, too. Michael Bryant. Thank you so much. Michael Bryant. He's a journalist. He gets the job done. All right, so I'm going to take that question back. Just a scooch. Scooch.
Object to that. So let me ask you this: let's talk reality here. In 30 days, if they haven't appointed some prosecutor, will the court do it?
This case is on life support. There's no prosecutor. There is literally no prosecutor on the 2024 case. One was removed by the court for making himself a witness. Two have had to withdraw for various reasons. The alleged victim in that case is suing anybody and everybody in connection with that case. Who's taking that case? You?
I will not take that case.
So, look, someone has to show up, but I think also the court recognizes that because of the legal maneuvering, that the district attorney doesn't even have the ability to appoint someone because they're apparently going to get sued as well by this individual. So it's a fiasco.
So Judge Doolin made it sound like I'm laying down the law here. 30 days, got to be somebody appointed. Do we really think something would come of it if nothing happens, if nobody's appointed?
Well, something has to happen. If either dismiss or prosecute, one of the two. We have a right to discovery that's still outstanding, and that shouldn't stop because they don't have their house in order. So our position is get your house in order, and if you can't, then do the right thing and dismiss.
Yeah.
End it.
And certainly the defense is prejudiced by that. Let's
Absolutely.
talk about the most recent case where you're waiting for some discovery. That now they say will be here by the December 5th latest date. What are you expecting to get? This relates to what I call pizza case.
The window intimidation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're just waiting on grand jury documents. We haven't got them yet, so we don't know what was said in there. And of course, we've seen in the other case that the grand jury is very important. You know, that happens behind closed doors, and if there's shenanigans, we need to be able to identify them and review what happened in there and how I was indicted for witness intimidation for doing T-Rex arms Tuesday night.
But we also want to know on that, the whole case revolves around an apparent illegal wiretap out on the street. So what are they going to do about that? Are they going to charge him? Are they going to give him a break? You know,
Was that
Chris Albert,
whoever's in charge of the property. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, get it out there. Massachusetts is a two-party state. So you're not allowed in public to audio and videotape a person without their consent. And here's the thing about D&E Pizza. The camera, I think that photographed them, was it inside? And the audio was picked up outside on the camera. So that's a wiretapping issue. Aidan is charged with wiretapping. Mark Betterow sent a letter to the DA's office saying Chris Albert is illegally wiretapping every single person outside his pizzeria. And we know because we've heard the phone calls of him calling the police, maybe from his house, watching what people are doing outside. And there's also a bench right outside D&E Pizza on the sidewalk. How many phone conversations does he listen to from not phone conversations, but private conversations? People come out of CF McCarthy's and they're a little bit hammered and they're sitting on the bench telling their friend all their problems, and he's recording everybody who walks by. Is that a wiretapping charge for Chris Albert for every single person who's ever walked by that pizzeria? Betterow thinks it is, and he wrote them a letter and said, are you going to prosecute Chris Albert? This is illegal wiretapping. And there's been no response to that. So now they're asking about it again, and it's good because now it's getting out there on the World Wide Web. So let's listen to that
Chris
question.
Albert,
Whoever's in
Let's listen to that question again.
out on the street. So what are they going to do about that? Are they going to charge him? Are they going to give him a break? You know,
Was that
Chris Albert,
whoever's in charge of the property. Let's be clear about that. We asked for an investigation into that, and initially, the Canton Police Commissioner recused herself from consideration of that and kicked it over to the DA. And we filed a notice to the DA to alert them to this, and they simply haven't responded. So, you know, we'll have to wait to see.
Right. Helena Rafferty, chief of police at the time of Canton PD, recused herself and forwarded it to Marcy's office. And I guess there's been no response yet. Wait, let me hear that again.
And kicked it over to the DA, and we filed a notice to the DA to alert them to this, and they simply haven't responded. So, you know, we'll have to wait to see with all of it. So,
Let me ask about the guts of the motion. We haven't heard the reply yet or the response, and then I assume you guys will have a reply. I think the strongest part of it is the misrepresentation to the grand jury, but there's a lot in there. So is that the key to you, or do you see something more important in the motion that supports getting rid of these charges?
but we see a lot of problems in the grand jury, disclosing evidence, relationships with people with very checkered histories that they rely on, destruction of evidence, non-disclosure of evidence, false and misleading testimony. I mean, we could go on and on if you have an hour what the problems are. But, you know, our view is that considered cumulatively, all of this is egregious governmental misconduct, and it all ought to be dismissed. You can't have prosecutors, police officers, private civilians working at the behest or with police officers doing these kinds of things. So I wouldn't isolate it and say this is stronger than that. The whole mosaic is awful and needs to be dismissed.
What do you anticipate the response to be?
That's for them to decide. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're a good attorney. You always have to anticipate.
I have no idea how they're going to respond to this. In our view, a lot of this misconduct is indefensible. So, but that's for them to decide. I don't want to speak.
We're not giving them any ideas. Yeah. They can come up with their own nonsense.
Mark boxed them in really well. They're boxed in, and you know, we're very optimistic as we are. You know, they're dropping like flies. Mello's gone, Novak's gone. You know, there's more to come on Mello with respect to the Reed witness case that's still out there to disqualify him there. So there's much more to come. We moved the needle today, kind of mostly by agreement. Again, we're stalled because the government can't get its house in order with prosecutors. So, we're gonna see where that goes.
Every time I come to one of these hearings, I walk out the same way thinking, what the hell are they doing and why? What's the motivation?
You have to ask them.
I knew you were going to say
None
that.
of us
You
understand.
might have something.
I mean, I'm coming up on the 2-year anniversary of getting arrested at the bus stop, and I don't feel like we've made much progress. They've done anything. Every time we come.
Yes, sorry, I didn't mention that for our viewers who are not watching, not able to watch and only listening. Aidan Turtledove is also looking nice today, says Karen Larimer. He's wearing what looks to me to be a gray suit. I'm not sure if it's a full suit or separates, with a burgundy tie and a white shirt. Looks like a spread collar. I don't know. You think he's got collar stays in there? He's looking pretty good. He's got a stylist now,
Here, like you said, we just got to kick the can down the road. And maybe next time we'll talk about something important and discovery. And I don't know what their plan here is, but I think it's just to keep me out on bail and keep me on my best behavior. And or I don't even know if they have a plan.
The problem is when they started this case, the idea was to stifle speech as it relates to another well-known case. Obviously, that case is over. It didn't work out for them, and they're still doing this, and they're kind of stuck with that. As we learned earlier this week, many of the witnesses who presumably are going to testify at a trial here are apparently all about to be sued for civil rights and conspiracy violations. That's another case, other people making those decisions. But you'd like to think at some point in time that you see what happens. We have no prosecutor on one of these indictments. The whole thing is just literally on life support. This other case is kicking around. It's failing. All of this is failing, and you'd like to think at some point that they just reevaluate special prosecutor after special prosecutor after special prosecutor. That appears to be the way the sausage is made in this county. But at some point in some time, it's got to go. It's got to go. The Karen Reed case is over. They lost.
I've heard.
They lost.
I've heard that.
It's time to see the writing on the wall with this case. It was only brought to keep Aidan quiet, and the thing is over. It's circling the drain, and we want this case has got to go too.
Would the state move into another county just to keep get it clean?
I've never seen that happen where the state would move a case. I don't think it's going to happen. What would that tell you if a prosecutor is afraid that they can't win in their home court, that they want to go someplace else? Yeah. If that's even part of the thought process, then you should just dismiss it. Maybe if they move it to North Korea.
Yeah.
Yes, North Korea.
How's it going?
Kim Jong Kanone. Or Kim Jong Kanone? That was my nickname for her for quite some time. That was pretty funny. Hold on. He said something funny, Bradel did, so I'm gonna let him say it. Shout out to Seeking Justice with Tom, CPU, and Boston Mike for getting out there and getting this done.
It's even part of the thought process, then you should just dismiss it. Maybe if they move it to North Korea.
Yeah. How's it going? I like that.
So you brought up a good point. Now Morrissey's in the crosshairs in terms of his ability, his whole office's ability. So what is the option if the court decides that the Morrissey office can't handle this?
Hell knows. The Attorney General,
who
who has already, as you've seen in the motion again and again, has refused to get involved. Why would anyone in private practice choose to get involved in this? Look what happens. You may get sued. Look, I don't know what they're going to do. It would be foolish to even predict. It seems to me the only right thing to do is dismiss all of it. Well, they make a lot of taxpayer money, so that's their carrot. So who knows if someone is out there, the fourth or fifth person across all these cases. Are they going to make $250,000 too?
Yeah, I mean, they paid Robin Novak $20,000 to work one day. They paid Ken Mello at least $80,000.
So that guy Novak was paid $20,000 for one day. He took over the grand jury for one day when Mello was sick, and he got paid $20,000. Wow. I mean, that's a good gig if you can get it, guys. Get a contract with the Norfolk DA's office because they just rubber stamp stuff. They were paying Aperture $75,000 a month at one point.
paid Robin Novak $20,000 to work one day. They paid Ken Mello at least $80,000 to do, I don't know what he did, but they just literally took the money and ran. And the taxpayers are the real victims here in this.
When I sit there and I see all of that money going out the door,
Well,
it's frightening.
That's the scandal, though, right? I mean, you have 3 special prosecutors that are now gone from this case. What does that mean? They're not DA salary. That's extra taxpayer money. And one of them got himself kicked off for being a witness. Another one bailed the day after the motion was filed, who worked with Mello. And Mr. Cosgrove understandably had to leave because he's being sued. But you paid for this. It's your tax money that a year and a half later has a case without a prosecutor, and all that extra money went into it. You saw it in Karen's case with all the special prosecutor fees. It's happening here. And maybe the question to ask is, why do they keep doing it? Why does it keep happening here? What's the problem in this county, and why there is such a crisis of confidence in law enforcement here? I mean, this shouldn't be happening again and again and again. It becomes a giant fiasco.
That's why all these people are here.
Well, that's where, right, that's what I was gonna say, is that's where you guys come in. The media comes in and the public comes in.
What media?
You know, that's why you guys are.
What media is right? The only one with a mic is Justice Served TV, Michael Bryant, who has a YouTube channel with Linda Kenny Bodden, and it's really good. Someone said it's really good. I like them. They're cool. And Tom CPU with his iPhone, maybe. That's the only media that's there. And somebody said, what media?
Here.
And it's interesting that Bettero said, you know, people have a crisis of confidence in the DA's office, because that's the same exact thing that Morrissey said when he wrote that email from his burner account to all of his Stoughton court judges when Chris Albert didn't get his restraining order, and Turtleboy was able to get the affidavit of Chris Albert from a employee of the Stoughton District Court, who was then fired based on Morrissey's email. So there's that. Michael Morrissey said that Jennifer McCabe had a crisis of confidence in the Stoughton clerk's office, and that it was very embarrassing for him. And so it had to stop. Listen to this again, where somebody says, what media?
Why all these people are here.
Well, that's where, right, that's what I was gonna say, is that's where you guys come in. The media comes in and the public comes in.
What media?
You know, that's why you guys are here, you know, because this is outrageous and it needs to stop, you know, and, you know, eventually you get to the ballot box, but you guys are all free to speak out now, because, you know, Aidan's not going to be the scapegoat here. Aidan's not going to be the martyr. We're going to get him out of this, and nobody should have to be in that position.
All right. Thank
You guys come.
Can I ask you all?
Good job, Aidan.
Oh, that was Aidan that said what media?
No.
By the way, Mark, I got a power for you. I'm going to play. I will.
Nice to meet you, Brian.
Yeah.
All right. That is that. Shout out to Tom CPU and Boston Mike. Give them a like and a sub. And Lola says, I think the mainstream media does not cover because they see Turtleboy as an independent journalist as competition. And they should. And they should, because many of you in the chat don't even watch TV anymore. How many of you in the chat still watch, you know, ABC, NBC, CBS at night at 5 o'clock for your news and 6 o'clock? Or do you go to YouTube for your news? I mean, people who are on YouTube, and YouTube has become the biggest, I don't know, the biggest source of information out there. It's a bazillion-dollar industry. I don't even know what it is right now, but nobody who watches YouTube all day even probably has basic cable anymore. And they're losing viewers. So a lot of people come to YouTube for their news. They come to YouTube for interaction with people like me that stream content and give you the straight dope and read the court documents with you and explain things to you. And that's part of the problem. That's just part of the problem. But yesterday, in fact, and I was going to pull this up, so thanks for reminding me, Mass Live did actually write an article on this. And here it is. For any of you who didn't see it, because it's behind a paywall, so many of you may not have seen it. It's the first time ever, I think, anybody's covered his case. Sometimes, I think Court TV once did have a camera in there, maybe for one of his hearings a long time ago. But here's an article from yesterday. Prosecutor relied on false and misleading information to indict Turtleboy. Lawyer claims. This was written by somebody named Charles McKenna. Shout out to Charles McKenna for caring enough to write an article. It's a good picture of Aidan. Well, I don't know. It's not that great of a picture. Outside the courthouse another time from March 6th of 2025. And here's the article about the mega motion. Lawyers for the blogger Aidan Kearney, who goes by Turtleboy online, have filed a motion to dismiss the witness intimidation indictments against him, claiming a prosecutor and police investigator essentially doctored evidence to ensure Kearney would face charges. The motion and accompanying affidavit filed by attorney Mark Betterow and totaling more than 120 pages were filed in Norfolk Superior Court last week. Kearney faces 3 pending witness intimidation cases there in connection with incidents in 23, 24, and 2025. Kearney, one of the loudest champions of Karen Read's innocence leading up to and during her criminal trials, is accused of harassing witnesses in the Read case. He and his lawyers have claimed his conduct is protected by the First Amendment. Betterow's motion, the second motion to dismiss filed by Kearney's team this year, and the reason they had to file a second one is because they got a whole bunch more discovery, accuses the Norfolk DA's office of conspiring with the MSP, witnesses in the Read case, and a former employee of Kearney's to concoct a criminal case against him to stop his reporting. Much of Kearney's reporting focused on what he believed was evidence that those witnesses were complicit in the death of Read's boyfriend, John O'Keefe, who was a Boston police officer. The filing accuses Ken Mello, the first special prosecutor hired to handle Kearney's cases, of intentionally misleading the grand jury convened to hear evidence in the 2023 case. Mello intentionally and repeatedly, this is a quote, elicited false and misleading testimony from Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully, the lead investigator in the Kearney case. Chief among that misleading testimony, Betterow writes, is the false impression that Mr. Kearney's video episodes were admissions of his alleged witness intimidation. The filing also accuses Tully of cherry-picking clips from Kearney's YouTube videos, then changing the names of the episode titles. For example, in order to paint him in a negative light before the grand jury. For example, an episode titled Pre-Vacation Show, Jill Daniels, Carl Dougal, Taillight Mystery Liz Proctor, was renamed Enjoying Watching Witnesses Squirm in the materials given to the grand jury. Introducing the entire episodes into evidence would have diluted the impact of Tully's testimony before the grand jury and provided more context for Kearney's statements, Betterow argues. Put simply, Mr. Mello made such a mockery of his responsibility as the legal advisor to the grand jury with his pervasive misconduct that the entire proceeding was a sham, the filing reads. Mello has already been removed from one of the 3 cases against Kearney for communicating with a witness at the time of the incident that prompted the intimidation charge. That witness, as you know, was Lindsay Gattani. Betterow argues he should be removed from the 2023 case as well because he could be called as a witness at trial. Beyond just the alleged misconduct in the grand jury, the filing accuses Mello and Cosgrove of withholding evidence despite several requests from Kearney's lawyers. The Commonwealth has exhibited breathtaking indifference to its constitutional and statutory obligations to disclose evidence to the defense, Betterow wrote. Specifically, Kearney's defense has yet to receive discovery related to the former employee, Catherine Peter. That evidence, Betterow contends, would be beneficial to Kearney's defense because it could show the nature of the relationship between Peter, Tully, and Mello. Peter is also accused of sending information to both men through, quote, private links, which she since has deleted, according to Betterow. Well, we know because Lindsay Gattani posted the receipts yesterday, or we covered it yesterday. The deletion of that information has left the defense without an opportunity to acquire important evidence that favors Mr. Kearney's defense, the filing reads. As a result, Kearney's defense had not been able to put together a detailed chronological timeline to demonstrate to a jury that a woman with dreadful credibility who despises Mr. Kearney and has a penchant for falsifying evidence against him helped orchestrate the criminal case against him with the blessing of the Commonwealth. Cosgrove, the special prosecutor, has not responded to the motion. And we learned today that he will have until October 27th to do so. A hearing to address discovery motions in Kearney's case is scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. And so that was posted on Mass Live yesterday. Charlie McKenna is a reporter on the public safety team at Mass Live based in Boston. He covers the entire state. Well, good. Good on Charlie for picking this up. And I think he did a pretty good job of summarizing the 150-page mega motion in a relatively short article. What do you think? Let's go to some questions now because we have a lot of them. Betsy, thanks for 10, says, just hearing your voice makes me happy. I love you with all my heart. Thanks, Betsy. Kelly Applegate's here. Thanks for 20. Ready for some accountability to be served? Well, not today, but justice is coming. Maybe. Justice is slow. It takes a long time. Anybody who's a lawyer knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anybody who's ever been a litigant or a defendant or a victim knows also what I'm talking about. I always thought lawyers should be called waiters because all you do is wait around all day in court. So I see a lot of people angry that nothing happened today. I just want to tell you, this is very common. It's very common. Many of you who are following the Karen Reed case and the Aidan Kearney case are new trial watchers. You're not used to this. But I'm here to tell you, with over 3 decades of experience in New York State and federal courts, this is what happens. These cases take a long time. It seems like the can is just being kicked down the road constantly. But, the judge has wide discretion and also qualified immunity. Thanks, Kelly. And Mon says, this is why we all love you. It seems like I'm always in my car. And I realized yesterday listening to you, you are my spirit animal. Oh, thanks. I think that's a good thing. Thanks for your super chat. Turtleboy's fist pump of freedom. Thanks for your 5, is thanking me. Says free the turtle. Like you. And Deborah Gelsey gifted 5 memberships. Welcome to all of those who were randomly gifted by YouTube. Mike B from the 413 says, Judge Doolin has the best personality in Norfolk County for what it's worth. He does. He's very jovial. Mass Dad is in the chat. He's a local to the Massachusetts courts for many, many years, and he knows. And I think he agrees. If you hear Mass Dad say something in the chat or you see it, you can pretty much believe that it's true because he's got experience to back it up. Thank you very much, Mike B, for your super chat. How dare you? From Canada. Question. With Cosgrove quitting on the Aidan versus Lindsay charges, is there a chance he will take himself off all the other charges? If so, can the judge dismiss all the charges with prejudice? It's not up to the judge to dismiss the charges unless he's dismissing them based on the motion. So if he dismisses them based on the motion, he can dismiss the charges on the papers and the argument that they're going to have. And if he decides to have an evidentiary hearing, they can take testimony and then he can make a ruling that the charges are dismissed. It is not up to him to just say, you know what, I'm just going to dismiss the charges without a legal basis to do that. That is something that the district attorney's office would have to do. They would have to withdraw the charges against him with prejudice. I think that's what you're asking me. And so the judge may decide that Cosgrove is conflicted out. And like he said, he's going to give 30 days for the DA's office to have somebody appear to prosecute Aidan Kearney. And if they're unable to do that, then perhaps the judge could just dismiss the case for non-appearance by the DA's office. But we'll see what happens. Stay tuned because this isn't going to be over anytime soon. And we're here for it. Patriotic is here. Says the media is allegedly a key component of the alleged criminal syndicate destroying the citizens. Thank you very much. And that was me just putting up who was speaking at the time. Shooter UK says, please like and share. Click the button. Appreciate you. Tina Lewis says, so the victim advocate was wrong about the case being dismissed today. Apparently. Yeah. Did she say it was going to be dismissed today or did she say it was going to be dismissed in total? I think you're probably right. I think she said it was going to be dismissed today. Or Lindsay said that Pamela Friedman, her victim advocate, told her that it was going to be dismissed today. Maybe she's not getting the right information. Amber says, thanks for inspiring women, mothers, and beautiful cupcakes to be courageous with our voices and stand together to help others. Thank you, Amber. I see a super chat. Landon and Saucy's been here for 7 months, says my head has popped off and is gone for good. WTF. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Remember who said that? Who knows who said that? Something. I think it's song lyrics. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. He's a guy who played with the Grateful Dead on some of the tours in the 90s. If you know, you know. See who gets it first. Nobody? Not Tupac. Bruce Hornsby. Thank you, Tristan Green. First one in here. It's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Tupac never toured with the Grateful Dead, but that's a good try. Maybe he's got a song about that too. I don't know. But thank you, Tristan Green, for that. Barry Raven tuning in from Ireland says, will the judge have read the mega motion? Does he have to wait for the prosecution to answer before he can discuss it? Yeah. So he can't decide it until, obviously, the Commonwealth has an opportunity to respond and be heard. And then December 5th, I guess they're going to come back and argue it. So will he have read it by today? I don't know. I can't recall now. Did he say that he had remembered it? I mean, did he say that he read it? Or that he glanced at it? And hopefully he's clicking on all the hyperlinks too, because the hyperlinks are what are telling us everything. Thanks, Barry Raven. Here for Humanity says, litigation takes years. I've been in an arduous federal suit with my ex-employer for 5 long years. We're all playing the long game at this point. Yeah, it's it does. It takes a long time. Thank you for your super chat. And Mass Dad said, nobody in the DA's office likes Brennan. They're not hiring him. He knows. MC says, Michael Bryan is actually an Emmy award-winning journalist and a lawyer. He's also a lawyer. I didn't know that. Fun fact, his wife produced the Netflix documentary on Epstein. That's a very cool lore. Thank you, M, for your super chat. Barry Adams says, why is D&E Pizza got wiretaps surveillance like Escobar's place? I don't know. Because, and also I have questions too. Like, before John O'Keefe was murdered by someone that was not Karen Reed, did they have those cameras up then at D&E, or were the cameras new after the murder of John O'Keefe? I need to know. I need to know these things. Hold on while I take a sip. Davy Cake says, can we call the hyperlinks Lambo links? A tip of the cap to Olivia. I will allow it. Davy Cakes, motion granted. So does anybody know? Thanks for your 10, Barry Adams. And I don't know. Because they're getting the information, and because, they want to have everybody persecuted that stops by their pizzeria with anything on their car, like a sticker that says Free Karen Reed, and they're going to call that witness intimidation, and they're going to get on the bat phone, their landline from inside D&E Pizza, and they're going to call Tully or Mello, and then Mello is going to call the police like he did against the 9 people who stood across the street from D&E with signs. They're called the Canton 9. We heard the recording. It's in the hyperlinks of Mello calling the police, the Canton PD, to say, oh, there's 9 people with signs outside D&E. Chris Albert's a witness. His brother is also a police officer at Canton PD, because you can't make that up. And then Mello calls back several times to say, oh, here's the statute. Why don't you read it? I think we can charge them under that. It's wild, but we've seen this film before. Thank you for your super chat, Barry Adams. And Wise Old Hours says, sorry to ask, but who is Marcy per your timeline chart? New to the chart. Marcy is the district attorney of Norfolk County. Marcy is the head MF in charge. He has been in public service, if you want to call public service. He's been in elected office since, I don't know, like the 70s. And he's never, as far as I know, tried a case in his life. And he has been the district attorney of Norfolk County since something like 2010, 2012, and he's never run, nobody's ever opposed him. And so for people who live in Norfolk County, they will tell you the roots are twisted and deep, and the corruption has been going on for decades, not just in Norfolk County, but in Massachusetts as a whole, according to what you guys have told me. Mrs. Parks is in the house, and she's a member, and then she gifted 10 members. So welcome to everyone who was gifted by Mrs. Parks, who is amazing, and she's beautiful, and she's super generous and wicked nice. Sandy B wanted to know, did they charge more per hour when in court? And the answer is no, they do not. It is an hourly rate, and it's billed on by the 10th of the hour. So every 6 minutes, you're getting a bill. Tenths of an hour. So 0.1 is 6 minutes. If you send a text message, it's 6 minutes. So it's an hourly rate. They also usually charge for travel time and expenses and such other things. So that was a great question I started from earlier. And Annie said, I love the love for Betterow from the press. Autodoc said, Bradel is pretty good, but he sure got caught out with the other case and the judge that revoked bail on Kelsey Fitzsimmons. I started this to highlight it, to respectfully disagree with you, to say the following. If you're still here, I would love to know why you think that. But I think you're going to say because he didn't show up with medical proof, or because he didn't know from the outset that she wasn't going to be able to breathe into that machine. I'm here to tell you that, in my opinion, there is no other judge on the planet that would have behaved the way that Salem witch, judge, behaved at that hearing. Because I ordered the audio. I paid $10 to get the audio of that hearing, and it was vile. It was vile. There is no way that he would have anticipated that a judge would behave that way. There is no way that he could have anticipated that a judge would say, I give zero weight to the probation officer's testimony, zero weight to the probation officer's email, or parole officer, whatever he was, but probation, I'm not sure what they call them in Massachusetts, but that guy came in and said, Your Honor, I saw her breathing into that thing. It's causing her a lot of pain. And there is such a thing as a P test that wouldn't be painful for her. And we can do that. And also he said he didn't violate her. She was not in violation of her conditions. And there was no reason to revoke her bail. So the judge didn't have grounds. She was not in violation of her conditions. And even the probation officer said that. So I completely disagree with you, because he didn't get caught out. That judge is insane, in my opinion. So respectfully disagree, but I love it when you guys disagree with me, because then I can talk about why. Sunshine 1111 says this judge doesn't do anything but boot everything forward. And I'm here to say that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. I think about a lot of cases. This is a case that is very important to us and those of us who are following it for many reasons. The First Amendment, selective persecution, the fact that they're trying to shut up Aidan Kearney by doing everything they can, and then they set him up to incarcerate him. But this is just the way it is in every case. This case has been going on. His arrest was in October of 2023. So it's been, and I hate to say, hasn't even been 2 years yet, but it hasn't even been 2 years yet. Look at Miles King. There's another hearing on Miles King tomorrow. We're going to cover it. It's at noon. We're going to cover it live. Miles King has been in jail since, it's insane. That case is so old. And then we saw a case that was just tried the other day in Worcester for Joshua Hubert is the defendant, and that is from a 2017 arrest. So when I say only 2 years, I know it feels like a lifetime, but look at people like Josh Hubert and Miles King and then get back to me, because that's just the way it is. It's horrible. It's terrible. Sarah sent a super sticker. Thank you so much. And Hockey Casey said, great interview by Michael. That is awesome. And Life on Makeup is here. And she says, thanks for your time, your commentary, and all that you do. You're amazing. Allison's been here for 6 months. And she says, Will looking spiffy. Thanks, Mel, for all you do. A couple of people said that Will looked like a bodyguard. And he kind of did. He kind of did look like he was the bodyguard for all of them. But he's got a bum knee. So I don't know if he could really, do any bodyguard type duties if he needed to. And Jeannie Karen Reed for governor of the Massachusetts says, where the actual hell is the mainstream media? Will they even report on it tonight? I guess not, because they didn't even have any cameras outside, as far as I could tell. Anybody who's boots on the grounds there, you guys actually, somebody tagged me in an Instagram post and I shared it on my story. So thanks to the boots on the ground who tagged me. I know Peter Murphy is there. He sent me a picture earlier of the people who were arriving at the courthouse. So shout out to Peter Murphy if he's listening. Christina Rex would have been here, but she just had a baby, said Crime Zombie. Would she have though? Why didn't they send somebody in her place? I mean, she works for a big network. They got other reporters, right? So I don't know. That's a great question, Jeannie. And Jeannie can tell you all the way from across the pond. Thanks for your super chat. Nicole says, the four of them look like the good fellas of Massachusetts. Glare in the back. That's hilarious. Thanks, Nicole, for your super chat. Here for Humanity said, please, can I please still order a free Karen Reed Cancun long sleeve t-shirt? Large, you choose the color. I ordered during the sale, but I forgot the t-shirt. Yeah, I took them out of the merch shop because I didn't think people were going to order them anymore. But if you still want that merch, I'll put it back in. Thanks for your 5. I'll remember to do that later, hopefully. Yeah, Sue O'Connell said she needs to remain unbiased because she's going to be covering that trial. So I guess that's what she said about why she's not covering it. All right, JK2 1980. My channel is not one where we like bash other creators, especially creators who come on this channel and ones that I go on their channel. So you might be confused about where you are right now. Just maybe take a step back. Thanks. Michelle became a member. Welcome. Nancy Joe said, this is light speed compared to how long the civil case will take. Yeah, that's true. Especially when the 10 new defendants are coming in. And they're coming in one way or another, which is another great song, which is also so appropriate one way or another. We're going to find you. We're going to get you one way or another. Can I link to these earrings? Got them at Saks. They're on sale. Yeah, I can. I will. I don't know how to do that, but I'll try. We ride at dawn. Can Cosgrove respond to this motion? Lindsay is mentioned in it, or will he try to weasel out of it since he removed himself? That's a good point. I think I would have to go back and look at was it made under all of the index numbers or just one of the index numbers against the case against the McCabe's and the Alberts? That's a good question. He should try and weasel out of it because nobody, who wants to respond to that motion? Nobody. You know how long it's going to take? You know how many hours he's ever going to have to bill out? He doesn't want to touch it. I bet he like waves the white flag and he's like, listen, I just want out. Like in the interest of like avoiding the appearance of impropriety, Your Honor, I want out of this case. I don't even want to be involved anymore. I would if I was him. It's not worth it for him. He came out of retirement for this. Can you imagine? He came out of retirement. And Elisa says, listen here, Cupcake. We love you. That's awesome. Thank you. Listen here, Turtle Dove. If you missed it last night on that stream at the very beginning, I had a voicemail from the fake Cosgrove, Cosy G, I think is what you guys call him. He calls into Will's show sometimes, and I know who he is, but I'm not going to give up his identity because he's been watching my channel for a very long time. And since way before the Karen Reed case, in fact. And he sent it to me and he said, I made this voicemail for Auntie Deb to play at the Wilbur show, but I had technical difficulties. I couldn't get there in time. So the only thing I could think of was to send it to you. And we played it last night and it was hilarious. If you want to hear it again, I mean, I'll allow it. It was really funny for those of you who missed it, but thank you, Elisa, for your 10. Cosgrove. Oh, excellent. You guys change your names and you're really the funniest snark tank ever. Cosgrove's Getaway Driver says, gifted 5 memberships, but changed their name to Cosgrove's Getaway Driver, which is awesome. Oh, if you missed it, we should play it. It's like the Jerky Boys. It's like remember the agenda. The Jerky Boys are the best prank callers ever. Okay, I'll play it in a minute. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships, Cosgrove's Getaway Driver. And Lucy says, you're missing the elephant in the room. We love you. Oh, I love you with all of my heart. That was a funny thing somebody said the other day about me ignoring the elephant in the room. And it was in a stream that had completely nothing to do with anything involving anything that this person thought was the elephant in the room. And I was like, what are you even talking about? I don't even remember now what they said the elephant in the room was. Jimmy Kimmel, I don't even remember what it was. It was crazy. Amy became a YouTube member. Welcome. And Bridget says, Attorney Melanie Little, any word on Gilgo murders? I know you said I had updates yesterday. Yeah, I have a bunch of decisions to go over and some footage from yesterday. And I'm going to do a separate stream on that and also some information on Tyler McCain. They had an 8-day preliminary hearing in Shasta County, California, and the judge has decided that Tyler McCain will stand trial for the abuse and murder of Nikki Saley McCain. It's the first no-body murder case ever to be tried in Shasta County, California. So I'm going to do Rex Heuermann, Tyler McCain, and I had one other topic that I want to do all in the same stream. So thanks for asking. I just don't know when I'm going to be able to do it quite yet right now. Thank you, Brigitte. Mrs. Parks is in the house and she says, be sure to hit the like button, y'all. There are well over 10,000 of us in here with only, I don't know how many likes at the time. I don't know. There's 4,300. I've got 4,300, but everyone should hit the like button because it's like walking into somebody's house and just like wiping your feet on the mat. And she says, we can do better than that from Ms. Melanie. Thank you, Mrs. Parks. Nancy No says, any chance you can cover the trial of the remaining COs who unalived Robert Brooks in Oneida, New York? It starts in October and it's being filmed. Some took pleas on Monday. Brian Walsh's trial is scheduled to start October 20th. So I don't know when this one that you are talking about starts, but I will look into it. Thank you very much for your super chat, Nancy. Lola Good Dog says, Will looking fine as a Matrix agent. Thanks, Lola. Norman says, Massachusetts is a one-party state. There is no checks and balances, just like Arkansas, another state that likes to hide the truth with Aaron Spencer. No mainstream media in that case. Thank you. Thank you, Norman, for your 20. And also for reminding me, Aaron Spencer's motion to dismiss was the third thing that I want to cover in that next stream. Is going to be Hurman, McCain, and Spencer. And we can do it like Emily Baker style, like just do like 4 or 5 hours and do a bunch of different topics, which is something that I want to start doing with you guys. But because there's so many cases that we're covering. And you guys like it when I keep you company for like the whole day when you're at work, right? I know you do. You know you do. XOXO. Amy says, I need to make dinner for my daughter tonight and I need inspiration. Ideas? Oh, girl, you're asking the wrong person. My dinner is usually DoorDash if I even eat dinner. So I don't know about Brian Walsh if it's going to actually happen that day. So DoorDash is an amazing place to make dinner. And I recently discovered that DoorDash not only brings food, DoorDash goes to Home Depot for me. And I don't like going to Home Depot. I really don't. I don't know where anything is. I don't know what I need. They go to Home Depot for me. And when I need like pool shock or during the summer, when all the heavy stuff like the pool salt, those 40-pound bags of salt, DoorDash. Tip the guy $10 is worth me not having to go there. So I don't know. I can't tell you what to make for dinner, but a nice chicken cutlet, breaded, fried with a little salad on top is always a very good meal. Chicken with salad on top. Who doesn't like that? It's chicken Milanese. Like some cherry tomatoes, some arugula, make a nice like lemon olive oil dressing and little mozzarella, the little balls of mozzarella on top. You like mix that up and then you fry the chicken cutlets and then you put on top. It's delicious, delicious. Love that chicken Milanese. There you go. I thought of something. Hello, the good dog. Thank you for your super chat. Says Turtleboy said Lindsay was a witness in his McAlbert cases, so shouldn't Cosgrove recuse himself from those as well? Well, that was his argument. And I think that Cosgrove is going to have some things to think about. Some of he's going to have some more reasons why he should probably get the hell, like, he didn't sign up for this. He didn't sign up for the, why did he come out? Why did he come out of retirement for this? I don't know. But yeah, the answer is yeah, probably. And after, like, he's going to start clicking on those hyperlinks and he's going to go into like palpitations and he's going to be like, why am I doing this? I just want to avoid the appearance of impropriety, judge. Let me out. Please. He's going to be banging on the door to get out. Faces of Leah says, what was the outcome of the Hewer case? Oh, he was convicted of everything but the grape charges. So he was convicted. I went over that on another show. It's timestamped for you, but none of the mainstream media covered that either. That was on, I had to get all my information cobbled together from one person who tweeted from the courtroom, one person who was reporting, I think, on Mass Live. There was almost zero coverage on that case. So he was convicted of everything, the kidnapping and the assault of the 7-year-old, but not the grape. I mean, that's wild. I don't know. I don't know because I wasn't there and I don't really know enough about it, but thanks for asking. Papers, motions, and hyperlinks. Oh my. See what I'm telling you about the usernames? Thanks for your 10. I was boots on the ground today for the first time. It was incredible to be there. The same people did something like this to my best friend a few years ago and it destroyed his life. Thank you for being there. Thank you. Yeah, and I guess if it's happened to you or someone that you know, it's wild. I mean, it's insanity, right? Hang on while I find the audio presentation of Kazi G. Hold on. Because for those of you who didn't hear it, it's delicious. And we're going to play it. I just got to pull it up. Sherry D says, thanks for bailing me out of YouTube jail. From less than 5,000 to now 128,000 subs. Time flies. We're still going through the same motions. Thanks, Sherry. I'm sorry. I don't know. YouTube's been blocking people like sua sponte without my permission. And so to you out there in the tubes of you, if you have been blocked from my channel for some unknown reason, and you can't see yourself in the chat or your comments aren't showing up and you haven't been a jerk, just email me with a link to your channel. I have to have the link. A screenshot won't do. Your username won't do. I need the link to your actual channel in an email that says blocked in the subject line. And I get 1,000 emails a day. Hopefully I'll see it. I'll be able to fix it like I did for Shari. Thanks for gifting a membership. And Ms. Holmes says Kazi G triple dipped and found out he did. He triple dipped. He has like 2 pensions and now he's got the side hustle. And I think the triple dip is not really where he wants to be. Bridget says, looking forward to it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's listen to the Kazi G voicemail. Not really Cosgrove, but it really, really, really sounds like him. All right. Let me know that you can hear it.
The appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove with a prepared presentation for Turtle Dove Andy Kearney. Mr. Kearney, after being dragged out of retirement and assigned to your cases by Yellow Ken Mello, who had an axe to grind and had me over a barrel, I became willing to incarcerate you by any means necessary. For example, 4,000 pages in a motion just to be a rascal and infuriate your attorneys, Mike Bradelo and Tom Betteradle, and indict you on an obviously ridiculous T-Rex arms violation on a public way and leave Will Glera out of it, who is just as complicit. Shout out to Will Glera, by the way. I've had a change of heart recently.
He calls into Will's show all the time. A rascal.
I would actually like to thank you a bit. Here's why. On your presentation recently, you apparently engaged with Miss Gattoni in an upside-down double reverse hucklebuck, which by doing so made her so dopey, she subsequently made a decision to sue me, among others, and by doing so created her own conflict of interest, in which will undoubtedly see me released of my duties in your case. As you know, I'm a man of advanced years, and I will now be free to go square dancing with my wife, gardening, and hopefully get that awful twisted panties out of these bathrooms here at the office. It's just terrible. As a matter of fact, we have Trooper DeChico in there now with his oversized, disgusting lips cleaning up the bathroom. But I digress. I would like to thank you for having me at your...
I've never noticed that DeChico had oversized lips. Anyone? Upside down, double reverse hucklebuck. I don't want to give up his true identity because I love him. He's a longtime viewer. And he's hilarious. Miss Jessica's laughing so hard she's crying. All right, it's hilarious. Hang on. He's so good at this. All right, I just took it back a little bit so you could hear it again.
Recently, you apparently engaged with Miss Gattoni in an upside-down double reverse hucklebuck, which by doing so made her so dopey, she subsequently made a decision to sue me, among others, and by doing so created her own conflict of interest, in which will undoubtedly see me released of my duties in your case. As you know, I'm a man of advanced years, and I will now be free to go square dancing with my wife, gardening, and hopefully get that awful twisted panties out of these bathrooms here at the office. It's just terrible. As a matter of fact, we have Trooper DeChico in there now with his oversized, disgusting lips cleaning up the bathroom. But I digress. I would like to thank you for having me at your theatrical presentation, and also to all your people in attendance within tennis. Just a second, please. I'll be right back. Hello, Miss Gattoni. What can I do for you?
Continues on Thursday because I don't want to go back to jail. That would suck, especially over some bullshit lies. This shit needs to end, man. This shit needs to end. But I got a great attorney and a great defense team.
I'm not sure what you're talking
We're
about.
gonna take them down, man. I'm not going to jail. Fuck that.
All right, hold on.
Gattoni,
There's a couple of curse words in there. So if you have the children in the room, earmuffs or if you have me playing on a public TV or in the hospital. I know there's a lot of nurses that watch in the hospital. Shout out to all my nurses who watch in the hospital because I met you at the Wilbur. Kathleen, I do have your email. And like I said, I need the actual link to your channel. The actual link to your channel. There's nothing I can do with just an email. YouTube has weird rules. I don't know why, but that is the way it is.
It's improper.
I know it would be somebody's like, yeah, people would riot. People would be fucking.
Please, Ms. Catuani, this is.
When I was sent to jail for the first time, you guys didn't know about Lindsay Gattani. You didn't know her. Now you know. Scary one. Near that me.
Is that actual? Wait, hold on. What just happened? Is that actual Lindsay Gattani, like a real email from her? I mean, a real voicemail from her? Why did that just stop playing? Or did he have somebody impersonate her voice too? What had happened was just stopped. Hello? Where's Cardi B when you need her? Hello? Well, suffice to say that it's funny. I don't know why it won't play anymore, but it just quit. That's really her voice. Was it a real voicemail that she left for someone? It's crazy. Oh, I think I know what I did. Okay, hang on a second. I think that was my fault. Hold on. We got to hear the end of it because that's the best part. We were like right around here, like 2:15, right? Hello?
This shit needs to end, man. This shit needs to end. But I got a great attorney and a great defense team.
I'm not sure what you're talking
We're gonna
about.
take them down, man. We're not. I already did.
Ms.
my job.
Catuani,
If they send me
this
down
is
to jail,
improper.
I know it would be somebody's like, yeah, people would riot. People would be fucking.
Please, Ms. Catuani, this is.
When I was sent to jail for the first time, you guys didn't know about Lindsay Gattani. You didn't know her. Now you know. Scary one. Near them. Me, I'm the one that knocks, motherfucker. They should be a million times more scared of me than I will ever be.
Ms. Catuani, please.
This is hell-bent on putting them all in prison.
Who?
That doesn't scare the shit out of you. What does? And I got a large platform to do it. And I'm fucking smart and savvy.
You have a platform?
You said that too, didn't you?
You know what, Turtle Dove? Forget all this stuff I just said. I can't get her out of here. Thanks a lot, buddy. Good luck with your cases.
I mean, how funny is that? Shout out to Kazi J. She was reading a text from Aidan on her YouTube presentation. Is that what was happening? That's wild. I'm the one that knocks. Yeah, that was great. Wasn't it fantastic? Joanna says, or Joanne, will you be covering the sheriff in the Kentucky trial? Yes, I will. I've covered it before. I know there was a hearing recently. That's something else we probably should catch up on. When is that? Is there a trial date for that trial yet? Because that's still in the early stages. I don't know when that trial is going to be, but yeah, there's some things I think we do need to catch up on that. Mickey Steins, yes. And we were going to go over the interview that Brian Enton did with the woman who came out and said that she used to have sex in chambers with the judge in exchange for leniency. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Mickey Steins. Every time I'm about to do something or cover something new, breaking news happens or something new happens on something that we're already covering. He's under a mental health observation. Well, that's wild, that case. Wild. Sounds like Ed Wallace said, Virginia. It is not Ed Wallace. I promise you it is not Ed Wallace. So there's that. Matthew says 30 days come, no DA. What will happen? Push it out another 60 days? Somebody's going to have to appear, or the DA is going to have to make the decision to drop all the charges against Aidan Kearney. And if you listen to anything Lindsay Gattani has been tweeting out there furiously, she said her victim witness advocate, Pamela Friedman, told her the charges against, at least relating to Lindsay, are going to be dropped. However, they're going to have some decisions to make within the next 30 days over there at the Norfolk County DA's office. They're going to have to refer it out. They'll probably refer it out to another county, because I don't think the Attorney General is going to get involved in this. That's what I think possibly will happen. Let's get back to the chart that Emily made, because we did not finish the chart, but I don't remember where we left off. I also just want to put it up on the screen for you guys in case you want to screenshot this, because it's a great visual representation of all of the dates in this case and how Everything ties together. So we showed this at the beginning of the stream. And here it is. Emily's chart of all the dates. It says Free Turtleboy at the top. It is color coded for your convenience. And if I could just full screen this. Here's the top if you want to screenshot it for later so you can come back and read it. That's the first two columns. This goes from 2023. The first two columns go from April 10th to August 25th of 2023. And then the second two columns go from August 30th, 2023 through December 26th, 2023. And so I think we left off right at we'll go back to August 25th, 2023, which was the date of Michael Marcy's hostage video, which we also went over the other day. That was really fun. To August 30th, which was the day that Turtleboy holds a protest outside D&E Pizza and at a Morrissey fundraiser. And then the next couple of days later, September 3rd, Proctor texts Morrissey, Tully, Buchanan, and Fanning and asks, why don't we just arrest him? On September 13th, Kate Peter emails the MSP edited video of Scanlon that she says is wiretapped. September 15th, protest outside the Karen Reed hearing. Jen McCabe accused in court of murder. Turtleboy asks Buchanan questions outside of court. September 18th, Jen McCabe demands another meeting with the DA. September 20th, Jen McCabe contacts Steve Nelson and asks something that we don't know because it's under a protective order. We can't see it. It's sealed. September 25th, Turtleboy reported on Jen McCabe's car parked outside Michael Proctor's house. September 26th, Turtleboy protests Chris Albert at select board meeting and Ken Mello is hired as the special prosecutor. That was September 29th. September 26th. September 28th, Chris Albert applies for and got denied. He wanted a protective order, a restraining order against Turtleboy, and he was denied. And that's when Fanning and Buchanan interrogated Janelle Webb at work. Janelle Webb is someone who ran a plate for Aidan, ran Jen McCabe's plate, right? To prove that she was outside Proctor's house, I believe. September 29th is when Michael Morrissey used his burner email to email the Stoughton court judges and demand that Michelle Littlefield be fired after Jen McCabe's complaint. And that's when Kate Peter tweeted that Turtleboy would be arrested on October 10th, after messaging with Buchanan. October 11th, Turtleboy was arrested at his kid's bus stop. His house was raided. His phones were seized. And Kate Peter met with Mello at the courthouse. Oh, I love this because it's just putting all the pieces together. And then the next day, or 3 days later, October 14th, is when he went to Mick Morgan's with Lindsay Gattani. The lore behind that is dirty. And that's all I'll say. If you know, you know. October 26th, Kate Peter writes an email to Tully with links that are deleted. Then November 1st, Kate Peter sends Tully another email with links. November 9th, Morrissey emails the Attorney General's office again with the Krupp decision. Then asks them to do something that was Baby Clay. I think I'm repeating some of the stuff, but I think we got to Baby Clay. Is that November 9th, the day that Lindsay Gattani lied and said she was pregnant or told Aidan that she was pregnant? Maybe. Yeah, what was that about? Rose says, Doolin sounded like he might not be covering the next Turtleboy court date. He said, if I'm here. And so I don't know why he said I might not be here. If I'm here, he's not trying the Brian Walsh case. So I don't know. He's rotating out. Somebody sent me an email talking about the rotation schedule, how they rotate in and out like every 3 months or something. I don't know. I got to go back and read it. November 26th, Kate Peter emails Mello links. Mello opens the links, proves that he is outsourcing his investigation to Kate Peter. November 27th, Lindsay Gattani sends a picture from a fake abortion clinic claiming to abort the fake baby. November 28th, the grand jury begins with Scanlon only talking about wiretapping. Oh, that was wild, that grand jury. That was all in the mega motion. Turtleboy has a hearing in Stoughton District Court where Mello announces the grand jury and says he hasn't been through Turtleboy's phones. That was November 28th. This is all 2023. December 5th is when the McCabe and Albert grand jury was convened. December 9th is when Turtleboy dumped Lindsay. Lindsay contacted Leah Genduso, who is another ex, I think, of Aidan or booty call or something. So Lindsay contacted Leah Genduso, Kate Peter, and Ken Mello on that day, the day that Turtleboy dumped Lindsay, December 9th. Plot bogus witness intimidation charges. That's what they were contacting him about, or that's what they were all plotting. They were all started to plot, make up their timeline, if you will, December 9th. December 11th, there was a text between Kate Peter and Lindsay Gattani that says, Mello is our only hope. December 14th is when Tully interviewed Lindsay Gattani, informs her she will have to testify and hand over her phone. December 22nd, Turtleboy is arraigned. Tully gives Lindsay Gattani a fake grand jury summons to lure Turtleboy over. That's December 22nd. December 23rd, Turtleboy goes to Lindsay Gattani's house, and there's a fake abortion threat. And if you have not heard the audio from the recording of the conversation and the that was had that evening, you cannot unhear it. It's chilling. It's chilling. And at the very beginning, he says, you understand I'm recording you, right? And he recorded their entire conversation, and it is chilling. You can't unhear it. Don't listen to it unless you're prepared. I'm not playing that recording. Hell to the no. I've never played it on my channel, and I won't. It gives me PTSD. It gives me it's triggering. It's triggering. I just warn you. It is clearly she's clearly in the throes of a mental break of some kind, and it's scary, and it's oof. Yeah, Mitchell, good luck if you want to go listen to it. But that's when okay, wait, where were we? Oh, that was December 23rd. Okay, so that was Christmas Eve. And it was wild. Her kids were in the house. She's screaming bloody murder. It's scary. It's scary. And I can't even imagine what he was going through having to listen to this and being there. It's wild. And then on December 24th, which he did finally leave. So she invited him over on December 23rd to tell him that she got this grand jury subpoena and they want her to come in and testify against him. So she gets him over there, and then things happen. And Lindsay's like actually texting with Mello while she's in the bathroom, and Turtleboy's outside saying, don't call me, he's here. Like, it's so clear that this was the setup. It's so clear. A blind man could see it. And they knew how to press his buttons, and they knew she would get him over there. Something would happen in order for him to violate his probation, and it worked. She said he pushed her on the couch. That was enough to get him incarcerated for 60 days. So on his way home, he finally left in the early morning hours of the next day, December 24th. He fell asleep on the highway and got into a car accident. That's when the warrant issued. They put out a bolo for him. And then December 26th, he surrendered with Bradel and turned himself in. And that's also his birthday. And they sentenced him to 90 days for violating his bail conditions on the other charges. But after 60, they were like, oh, legally, we're only allowed to hold you for 60. So I'll give you another opportunity to take a screenshot of this if you like, so that you can study it, you can learn it, you can know it. And we thank Emily C. for doing the Lord's work and providing us with this fantastic piece of lore. And it's all color-coded. And it's awesome. I think the recording is on his channel. I think it is. And I think he put it up when he first put it up around that time. I think it was before he went to jail. I don't know. And it was just the recording and nothing else. And I don't know if he took it down. I don't know. Seattle says, Cosgrove tried to come alive to remind the court that Turtleboy facilitated the distribution of Lindsay Gattani's phone extraction by posting her link on his live show, except this domain date is 9/15/25 CX. Okay. For whoever's interested in that, there's a little homework for you and a little research for you. All right. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, my friends, before we wrap this one. We're coming back tomorrow to cover Brian Walsh. Turtleboy Daily News, Eileen says. I think the recording is on Turtleboy Daily News. Emily, I hate to say this, but you're going to have to get into 2024's timeline, 2025. I mean, basically, you could be busy forever making these charts, but it's awesome and I love it. Thank you for making it. Oh, you want beanies in the merch shop? Okay. We can do that. I'm not sure if all the winners have emailed me. Yesterday, the winner of the tour shirt was Shady Norfolk DA's office. Did you email me? Or no, Stacy something. I can't read my own handwriting. Okay, you can write to Kelsey. Let me tell you how to write to Kelsey. Hang on. I will copy and paste and I'm going to put it up on the screen because it's a whole lot of directions and stuff. So let me look it up and I will cut and paste it and then I'll put it up on the screen right now so you can screenshot it for later because there's a whole bunch of rules and stuff. Hang on. I don't know if I can put this all in the chat. Give me a second because it's very long. All right. It's going to come up as 4 different messages. All right. I guess I'm going to have to put them up one at a time because that is what it only gives me a certain number of characters. Here's where you can write to Kelsey. Western Massachusetts Regional Correctional Center, inmate Kelsey Fitzsimmons, 701 Center Street, Chicopee, Mass. 01013. There are rules to the mail, though. All inmate correspondence is opened and inspected for contraband. All inmate correspondence letters must be written in black ink or non-colored pencil. The paper that the letter is written on must be white in color, free of stains, spills, or discoloration to include lipstick and perfume or cologne. Envelopes must be pure white. Drawings must be non-colored pencil or black ink. Greeting cards must be non-layered, no pop-ups or music devices. Only two-sided cards with no layers will be allowed. Photographs must be in the original form. Any alterations, including glue-like substance, tape, or tears on the photo, will not be allowed. Mail received that does not conform to this policy will be either returned to the sender or placed into the inmate property bag until released from the facility or sent to the criminal. Sent to the criminal something. All right, so here I'm going to put the address back on your screen again. If you would like to write to Kelsey Fitzsimmons, I'm sure she would love to hear from you, and she would love to hear from you. So you can screenshot this for later. But in the meantime, Lottie's mom says, "Who wants a job as a mail sniffer for the jail?" Oh, that's crazy. And Truckers Against Tie Clip says she's going to get a postcard from each state I run through. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, and Becky RN points out that some people are saturating letters with drugs for inmates. Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, they got to be careful. You can't spray it with your perfume or kiss it with your lipstick. And LawTube's most hated mod, who's got 25 years on the job with NYPD, points out the obvious. Oh, wait, that's not it. Do not send anything illegal. COs do not have a sense of humor when it comes to mail. They do not. They don't. So I'm glad Kylie says, let's get her all the emotional support we can. She needs it more than ever. More than ever. You guys are amazing. Is anybody live right now that we should do a cupcake invasion on? David Reese says Leah Genduso was a former MSP trooper that Aidan reported on and she got fired. Oh, that is true as well. Yes, I didn't know all the lore behind that, but also didn't he also have a relationship or not, maybe not a meal of food with her, but did they have some sort of, were they ever together? And I know that everyone's, everyone's definition of together is different, but I think that there was something about that, right? Oh, hang on. Hang on, Tiffany. Tiffany coming in with some juice. Hang on. Might not be going anywhere yet. What is this? Oh, this is nice. Look at this. David Yannetti tweeted at 1:25 p.m. Today's already September 24th. Thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany sends me stuff all the time and I don't always respond to her. So I just want to shout her out. She's awesome. I don't even know what your username is, Tiffany. But she's always sending me information and tea because I don't wait on the cesspool of Twitter. I certainly don't engage over there, but I have to. When you guys send me stuff, I gotta click on it because I don't click on links or hyperlinks. I go look for myself. But here you go, David Yannetti, just posted earlier today while we were on this stream. I am pleased to announce that I have been. Thanks, David Reese, for your super chat. I am pleased to announce that I have been asked by Professor Nikki Jackson to participate in a panel discussion. Oh, I can't take this off the screen. Hold on. At Purdue University next week, we will be discussing wrongful convictions and the good work that many are doing to exonerate the innocent. If anybody is at Purdue University or has any kids at Purdue, tell them to make sure that they go. David Yanetti's going to be there. And he's going to be there with John Ramsey, the father of John Benet Ramsey. I spent so many years in Boulder that every time I go to Boulder, I drive by John Benet's house and I say a prayer. And we're hoping there's going to be some justice for John Benet this year. And a couple of other people, Tommy Donald. So David Yannetti, renowned attorney at the center of the high-profile Kennedy case. John Ramsey, father of John Benet Ramsey. Timmy Donald, exoneree, featured in People Magazine Investigates. And Aaron Quinn and Denise Huskins featured on Netflix, American Nightmare. I think I did watch that based on your recommendations, guys, right? And this is, it's going to happen on October 2nd. And it's going to be at the Embassy Suites in Noblesville, Indianapolis Conference Center. So that's pretty cool. David Yannetti getting it done. Yeah, John Ramsey is everywhere. Bob Motta is moderating it? It doesn't say that here. I didn't know that. Is that real? Olivia Nile wants to hear his David Yannetti's opinion on her motion, on the motion to dismiss that Olivia hyperlinked. Deborah gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Deborah. You're amazing. And to all of you newly gifted members, that's awesome. He posted it on Twitter. That's awesome. Good for Bob Motta. He's going to get his in-person with David Yannetti because I think he's already interviewed him on his channel, right? Oh, there's Tiff, the normal mom. Tiffany, that's you, right? Who sends me stuff? All right, let me see who's live right now that we could do a cupcake invasion on. Hold on. Some people don't allow it. It has to be like a special setting that they got to check off the box, and not everybody has it set, so it doesn't always work. But we could try. Let's see. Spacey Stacy, you won. Did you send me the email with your info? Because I don't think I got it. So when you send it to me, make sure you send winner in the subject line, and also you send me your name, address, phone number, and username. Okay. Oh, and size, because I think I gave away a tour shirt, right? Okay. Let's see. I don't see anybody. All right, you're on your own, kids. You're on your own. Very few. All right. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. We're gonna come back tomorrow at noon to do the Brian Walsh hearing. Maybe I'll try and squeeze in a show around 10 and do some of the Heerman stuff and the Spencer stuff and the Mickey Stein stuff, maybe before and after, because I don't think that hearing on Miles King and Brian Walsh is going to be very long. So tell me what else you want me to cover. Tell me what else. Send me documents if you have documents that you want me to explain to you. Tell me what you're interested in and what you want to cover, because there's going to be like a little bit of a lull, I think, until the Brian Walsh trial. If there's another trial, there was another trial that just started today on Law and Crime, and I don't know anything about it, but maybe it'll be a good one if anybody, but I tried to listen to it this morning and the audio was terrible and we don't like that. Make sure you have your notification set though, and make sure that you have, or you're still subscribed. You still have your notifications set to all. You have notifications enabled on your phone, because you're going to want to make sure that you can do all that stuff. Okay. Otherwise you're not going to know. You're not going to know anything and you're going to lose out. So just know that you'll see me tomorrow for at 11:45 for the Walsh hearing. Probably I'll try and squeeze something in the morning so we can just keep teleporting from stream to stream to stream. Okay. All right. I love you with all of my heart. Thank you, moderators, for keeping it classy. This is a very, very hard case to cover because the trolls are out in full force, as you know. You emailed me about it last week. I got to go back and check my emails. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I love you guys with all of my heart. And if I don't see you soon, I'm going to die, but I'm going to see you tomorrow. Okay.